By now, you've probably heard how big tech is limiting speech in the aftermath of the Capitol Hill incursion. President Trump was booted off Twitter and Facebook. Google and Apple blocked the Parler app from download. And Amazon kicked Parler off its servers. Parler has sued over that. But did you know even some folks at the Voice of America are trying to limit speech? Yes, the Voice of America. VOA was founded in 1942 to combat Nazi propaganda and later to promote democracy and freedom behind the Iron Curtain. Those ideas were broadcast freely over the airwaves in countries where opposing ideas and speech were suppressed. But this week, some government workers said they didn't want U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo speaking to them at VOA headquarters in Washington. Regardless, Pompeo did address the workers there last Monday, and his remarks were broadcast around the world. He responded to his critics by delivering a warning about so-called woke culture and placing limits on speech.
They didn't want the voice of American diplomacy to be broadcast on the Voice of America. Think about that for just a moment. Look, we're all part of institutions with duties and responsibilities higher and bigger and more important than any one of us individually. But this kind of censorial instinct is dangerous. It's morally wrong. Indeed, it's against your statutory mandate here at VOA. Censorship, wokeness, political correctness, it all points in one direction: authoritarianism cloaked as moral righteousness. Similar to what we're seeing at Twitter and Facebook and Apple and on too many university campuses today. It's not who we are. It's not who we are as Americans. And it's not what Voice of America should be. It's time that we simply put wokeism to sleep. And you can lead the way.
Yes, it's time for Americans to speak out against this woke culture. Whether it's big tech limiting speech or VOA employees attempting to silence the U.S. Secretary of State. Those actions are not woke at all. An enlightened society is one where corporations, politicians, and citizens conduct their lives unafraid of what people have to say, whether they disagree with it or not. Free speech is at the heart of what we believe as Americans. We've never feared speaking our minds or sharing our opinions. That only happens to people in communist China or other totalitarian regimes, not here. Lies, propaganda, and deceit can only be dispelled by an informed public, not by biased big tech fact checkers. It happens through an open exchange of ideas, vigorous civil debate, and unregulated public discourse. Jesus told us in the 8th chapter of the Gospel of John, verse 32, that you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So fear not. Freedom of speech leads to the truth, and the truth, freedom. Isn't it time to demand that American corporations and our government leaders actually demonstrate a commitment to the First Amendment and liberty? That may be the best way to bring about a more prosperous future for all Americans. Well, that's it today from the Global Lane. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and hopefully again on Parler. And until next time, be blessed.